The dreaded choke. We've all done it. We're on a beautiful rack, and all you need to do is just get that money ball in. The whole world ripped out from underneath you. You know, when students call me up and they talk about working on their mental game, that's all they say. I just want to work on my mental game. They never say, I want to work on my physical game. They have an idea in their mind. They want to work on their break, they want to work on their stroke, teach me how to aim better, teach me some diamond systems. I'm Kim Young, known as the Dragon from Dragon Billiards Instruction, a PBIA accredited training academy in Vestal, New York. I'm also a PBIA Master Instructor and ACS Level 4 Instructor. One of the most common things that people call me up for is, I want to work on my mental game. But what part of the mental game are you talking about? See, in physical game, we can break it down into all these different facets. I want to work on offense. Okay, fine. Is it going to be pocketing, positioning, patterns, something else? In defense, I want to work on strategy, cue ball control, learn how to place that object ball where I want it to go, learn how to kick out of problems because I can hide it, but I can't get back out of it. But in mental game, it's so little worked on that people can't even describe what it is that they want to work on. They just say, I want to work on my mental game. Okay, let's calm down. Let's try to break it down into something a little smaller. What part of the mental game is it that you want to work on? Do you want to get into the competitive mindset before the shot? Do you want to learn how to treat every single shot with the same level of focus and intensity that you have on the money shot for the championship? Do you want to learn how to do that in practice too? Or is your mental game concept that you want to work on because you can't shake a bad shot? That one shot leads into 1,000 more because you can't turn it off. That missed shot on the 8 ball, for some people, is going to drive them crazy. They'll lose sleep over it. They'll keep replaying it in their mind. If this describes you, if you're still remembering that missed 9 ball from 1997, and every once in a while when you see that shot come up, your heart starts beating and you start thinking, oh, I remember that time that I missed that shot. I'm going to miss it again. You're scared to take the shot. When that happens, well, this may be the video for you. What I want to talk to you today about is something called mindfulness. Now, it's not going to fix your mental game as a whole. Again, like we said, mental game is a very broad thing. You would never describe your physical game as a very broad thing. But mental game, we can break it down into tiny little pieces. So let's talk about one piece of the mental game, which is how to get over a bad shot. So it doesn't affect more. So one bad shot doesn't lead to 100 more. Your brain is a computer. And if your computer's ever frozen and you had to hit Control Alt Delete, you had to turn it off, turn it back on. If you call up one of those IT guys, they always say the same thing. Well, did you turn it off? Did you turn it back on? You got to do the same thing with your brain. You can't just take a nap in the middle of a match, but we still got to do something. We got to take control over that shot so that that bad shot doesn't control you. And mindfulness is a great approach that I find to help out with that anxiety. Anxiety can be defined as ruminating thoughts. The thought just keeps reprocessing over and over and over again. It's kind of like that, whatever that computer's processing, and it's just stuck on that. It won't let you close the window. You can't even see the mouse moving. It's just the computer's so focused on this one thing, it can't do anything else. So mindfulness is a way to change your brain's process. When you feel like you can't control your brain anymore, this is a way that you can. Now, there's nothing you can do to control your feelings. Your feelings are your feelings, and that's all that there is. But you can control your thoughts. And if you can control your thoughts, then you can control the way that you feel about what you're thinking. Feelings of nervousness and anxiety and fear, those are emotions. You can't change those things. But if you can change the way that your brain is thinking and get your mind off of the things that are making you feel those ways, then you can hopefully reset and bring you back into the reality of the moment. Anxiety is worried about the future. I'm worried I'm going to miss this shot. Depression is concerned about what already happened. I'm so sad. I can't believe I missed that shot. I let my whole team down. We have to live in the moment in order to overcome any type of mental block that's going to cause us to miss this next shot. We have to be in the moment. This is the shot that matters. So mindfulness is a way that you can train your brain to focus on that thought. So the next time that your brain starts thinking about that last time that you had a missed shot, and you start feeling that anxiety, you start feeling that fear, what I want you to do is give your brain something to think about that has no emotion connected to it whatsoever. Give your brain something else to focus on instead of the problem that gives you those feelings. And one of the things you can do is just use the five senses that you have. Look around the room. So, for example, you don't remember every time you've ever missed a shot. You don't. You've missed thousands of times. You're gonna miss thousands more. But that one missed 8 ball of 1993, you still remember. You remember the waitress walking by with the wings. You remember that they were playing Great White on the jukebox. You remember what it smelled like in there. You remember what it sounded like. You remember the feeling of the cloth. It was that bar felt, not a true pool table cloth. You remember all of that. You might even remember that there was a tiny little nick on the cue ball and that there was a chalk particle on there and you were worried about a skip. Who knows what you remember, but you probably remember it in pretty good detail, and especially you remember the feeling of missing the shot. You remember everybody looking at you being like, that ball was this far from the pocket. How did he miss it? You remember the drive home, and at night you were still talking about it 6 hours later. You can't believe you missed it. If you can recall those things, then mindfulness is probably going to be pretty good for you. So, let me give you an example of what practicing mindfulness might look like, where we can turn off our brain from the thought that we had and instead focus on the task at hand. Here I am, I'm nervous. It's a straight-in shot. I hate straight-in shots. We all do, don't we? And we've missed plenty of them, and we're worried, and the instructor told me I steer and I throw, and there's a little chalk mark on there. What if I get a skid? What if this repeats that time from 30 years ago where I'm going to miss the shot again? Well, let's talk about what mindfulness is. I get down on the shot, and that's when I start feeling that anxiety, and I say, I'm not going to shoot this with anxiety. That's not consistent. All those other shots I shot freely, but there's something about that 8 ball makes me get all jittery. My brain is now recycling and ruminating on this thought that I'm going to miss this shot. It's easy to just say think positive, but sometimes thinking positive isn't enough. We have to take control over our thoughts. So here's what I'm going to do, is I'm going to use my senses. I'm going to stop, and I'm not going to think about that shot. What I'm going to do at this particular moment is my first priority, change my brain's waves, those thoughts, so I can feel something different. I'm going to look around and I'm going to find 5 things I can see. Right now I can see the camera. I can see this 8 ball. I can see the cue ball. I see the tournament blue cloth and I see these white dots on it. Now in that time that I'm thinking about 5 things I can see, I'm not thinking about the feelings of the shot. It's completely unrelated. And there's no feeling associated with just observing my surroundings. I want to find 4 things that I can hear. I hear the ticking of a clock in the background. I hear my voice. I hear the echo. I can hear myself breathing. I want to find 3 things I can touch. I can touch the bridge rail. I can find that. I feel the carbon fiber shaft of my Revo. I feel the cloth. It's a worsted cloth. It has a different feel than that bar table felt. I want to find 2 things that I can smell. You know, it's kind of weird. I can kind of smell the chalk. Billiards chalk has a funny kind of smell to it. And I can also smell some bacon because that's what I cooked for my boy for breakfast this morning. I do love me some bacon. And I can find 1 thing I can taste. I can still taste that bacon. By the time I've cycled through 5 things I can see, 4 things I can hear, 3 things I can touch, 2 things I can smell, and 1 thing I can taste, I've reset my brain. I've Control Alt deleted. I've unplugged it, plugged it back in. I've turned off my thought process from all of the things that make me feel a certain way, and I've refocused it on something. Well, maybe, of all those things, the bacon does make me feel a certain sort of way. But feeling good about bacon isn't going to make me miss my shot. So I've taken control over my thoughts, which means, in a way, I've kind of taken control of my feelings as well. If I can take control of my emotions. Now, the reality is, I've already won this tournament. I won the tournament in my practice, in my training. That's when I won my tournament. I'm just showing up here to collect my trophy. And now, with no feelings on my mind, I can do what I've set out to do. The next time that you find yourself recycling those negative thoughts and feeling in some sort of way and having the mental game, again, we're talking about big things, little things. So if you mean mental game as in I choke, well, try giving mindfulness a try. Maybe it'll help you. There's one other thing I'm going to mention about that money ball specifically. Now, what I just told you about mindfulness can certainly help you out. But I want to talk about specifically what to do about the money ball. So here we've got a nice straight on shot for our 5 ball. All we got to do is get to the 8. I take a look at the line that I'd like to be on. I don't want to be straight on. In another lesson you'll learn about pass, potential problems, angle, spin, and speed. And I see here I can keep it simple. A straight stop shot is adequate. So I've done all my thinking. I've done all my planning. I come into my routine. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2. 1, 2, 3, 4. And I come down here to the 8 ball. And everybody says, well, shoot the 8 ball like the same way as you shoot all the other balls. Well, that's easier said than done, bonehead. The reality is, this one matters. If I just get down and shoot this ball, and they say, just put it in the pocket. Well, that's not really keeping things consistent with the other 7 balls I just put in. For the other 7 shots I just put in, I considered, where's my cue ball going to go? I did pocketing with positioning. And if all I care about is just putting that ball in, that isn't consistent. And an inconsistency, a variable, that's the definition of what makes things inconsistent. I'm going to do the exact same thing. I'm going to imagine I have a next shot. And my next shot is going here in the side pocket. That's what I see. I see an imaginary next shot. And so now I have to earn that position. And if I'm going to earn my position, now when I shoot my shot, I can earn my position the same way. So I can shoot my next shot. It's very important that we keep things consistent. If I'm always going to be thinking about cue ball control when I pocket a ball, then I'm going to think about cue ball control when I pocket that money ball too. And it's not just to avoid a scratch, it's with the intention of trying to get shape on the next shot after that so we can truly shoot it the same way. I hope this helps. If you would like to have some individualized attention on mental game or anything else to help you improve your game, and you want to give us a call, look us up at dragonbilliardsinstruction.com.